But okay, we finally get there. What's going on? Monday morning in the rain in Manchester. I think we've had a little bit of a pre-season meltdown, let's just say. I can't tell you what happened there, but right, I'm going to start the show all over again. Let's look at this. 4 minutes in, I'll cut that bit out for people watching later on, obviously, but Manchester United's hunt for Benjamin Sesko, update on him. Bruno Fernandes, pitch side, saying that Manchester United need 2 to 3 more signings. Is it in Bruno's position that we need them signings? Midfield seemed to be a big problem, and what most people last night were complaining about or have issues with at Manchester United right now. And for it to come from our captain and him to be doing that interview, I think is one big thing on its own. Like, why is he answering questions that football managers and people at the football club should be answering? It's Bruno Fernandes, our captain, talking about Manchester United needing players in the positions in this team that he is probably competing for as well, and his teammates are competing for. It's an awkward situation, and you know what? Some of these sort of pre-season games bring up these little side interviews and everything that's going on with Manchester United, extra details with these in-game interviews as well. I don't know if you've seen it, some really awkward-looking conversations going on. Obviously, it's something that is reportedly going to come into the Premier League this season, but it just adds to the intrigue, doesn't it? It adds to what's going on and the suspense and awkwardness around United, because on the pitch last night it was awkward. We're going to get into what's been said, everything from the game, the players, certain performances, but we want to get into the news first of all. We want to get into everything that's going on with United regarding the transfer situation. We were all thinking yesterday, myself included, that Benjamin Sesko and the news and the updates was going to come. Yesterday morning we had the Newcastle side saying that they want an answer from Benjamin Sesko within 24 hours. Now, again, I said what I said yesterday with Benjamin Sesko and what I think is best. And honestly, I don't know at the moment. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why it's taking so long to decide. He's had, I think, for me, long enough now. This is the update from Fabrizio Romano also on this one, because last night he obviously had questions to answer, everyone wanting to know exactly what's going on with Benjamin Sesko. So this is the quick update from what Romano said last night on Benjamin Sesko, so you're completely up to date from his side. And then we're going to get into what Sky Germany have just said also in the last few hours off the back of some other reports last night.
Benjamin Sesko, guys, many questions I saw also under the last video I produced earlier today. Guys, on Sesko, we have to be patient. Today, still no decision from the player, but the agent remains in Leipzig. So the agent is still in Leipzig, arrived yesterday, still there to talk with the club, to talk directly with the player, and to arrive to a decision as soon as possible. For sure, this story won't take super long. Some of you ask me maybe if it will go to deadline day or something like that. I don't think so at all. I think very soon Sesko will make a decision. His agent is there. Sesko is speaking also with his family. Manchester United are still trying. Manchester United still told Red Bull Leipzig that they are prepared to bid. Newcastle already bid and Newcastle remain there, ready to pay in case Sesko decides to join them. So the situation for Sesko remains in this stage. Remember what I keep telling you. It's the player who's going to make the difference in this transfer. All the reports, bid here, bid there, bid accepted, bid rejected, new bid, former bid. What's important in this story is to see what the player decides to do. And the player, as of tonight, is still waiting between Man United and Newcastle, with different projects, different vision, different money, different financial situation, different European competition, different history, several things to consider. Sesko is taking his time.
A lot of you will think that Romano talking there is just saying exactly the same as what he's been saying for the last 2 weeks now regarding Benjamin Sesko. He did allude to a couple of things there, though, that we need to pick up on. First of all, it's not going to drag out to the last knockings of the transfer window. The decision expected soon. His agent is still in Germany right now, trying to get to the bottom of what Benjamin Sesko wants and trying to get this deal done. Like we brought you yesterday, all of the details regarding this deal, and Manchester United pushing for an answer from Benjamin Sesko. and trying to get him to go to Leipzig so they can put a bid in. From Sesko's side, dangerous game for Manchester United to be playing, because he wants them to show him that United have got the money and are willing to pay for him. But if they go straight to the club and make a bid, then they're automatically entering that bidding war with Newcastle, and Leipzig can start driving the price up. But obviously, if Benjamin Sesko goes to Leipzig, then that so-called gentleman's agreement creeps in also. But one thing Romano did say, from what everyone was saying last night, I'm going to get into some of the stuff that was said last night and then what's been talked about this morning. One thing Romano did say was that Manchester United and Newcastle United are waiting on Sesko. The key thing in this is the player. It doesn't matter about bids, doesn't matter about previous bids, doesn't matter about bids that are going to go in on top and how much they are going to be. It all comes down to one man, and that's Benjamin Sesko. When he makes the decision, this deal and this transfer will move forward. I have a feeling that we are going to get a decision quite soon on Benjamin Sesko. I keep saying this, but now into this week, obviously preparing for the last friendly of pre-season, everybody wanting to move forward and be organised. Less than 2 weeks away. It's the 4th of August right now, and we're looking at 28 days left in the transfer window. You would need to, if you are wanting to get deals done of this magnitude, really be pushing forward now. And I think I said it last night, and I'll stick by what I said in terms of how I see this moving from Leipzig's side of thing as well. Them as a club are leaving Sesko out of the side. And at that point, you're looking at that and going, if they're leaving him out because of this situation, because they know he's leaving, then they are going to want to move forward and bring somebody else in so they can continue their preparations as well. He's actually told teammates he's leaving Leipzig. So where's he going? Like, the club's leaving him out. He's not playing games. He's going. What's there to decide on? I know Romano's talking about key factors here, there. He's talking about the history of the club. He's talking about European football. He's got to make a decision on this. Like, it doesn't take that long to make that decision. He's taking his time, Fabrizio Romano says. There isn't much time left. I think something has to happen this week, and I can start to feel the impatience, I think, from both Manchester United and Newcastle. United staying calm and not really worrying about it that much, but Newcastle, for me, I think they're the ones that are pushing it. I think United have taken a backward step in being vocal with everything going on and trying to be calm behind the scenes, where I think Newcastle are just desperate now, like we said yesterday, to get an answer so they can move forward. There were secret meetings with Brentford and Wiesa for them. Last night we heard that they have been given a price for Ollie Watkins, and the price is set for them to go and take Ollie Watkins. Newcastle are actively preparing for other targets. We don't know about anything in detail for Manchester United at all at the moment. We don't know of any other strikers that we are actively in for. Well, Newcastle, compared to them, we don't anyway. There could be a lot going on behind the scenes we don't know about. I prefer it that way. I'd rather not know about what Manchester United are really going for until the real negotiations start coming through. But again, it's going to be a case now of, is it between United and Sesko? Like, does Sesko want proof first? And he has already gone to Leipzig. It's hard to know, because that bit I don't think we're ever going to know about, whether Benjamin Sesko is going to go to Leipzig or not. But Sky Germany come out and said, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen there, they've said that Manchester United are prepared to match the bid in from Newcastle and what's already gone through. Now, according to the Newcastle side of things, that Newcastle bid that was rejected is only rejected because of the structure of the deal. Now, can Manchester United go in and around that mark and restructure that deal and get it done? We will see as this moves forward. But obviously, right now, it's going to come down to what suits Leipzig best, I think, in terms of the structure. And this is where you start to think, right, okay, United can afford Benjamin Sesko, but going off this, and if Newcastle's bid has been rejected, I can only think that it is through the amount of instalments or how much is down paid and things like that. And obviously we're looking at Manchester United's stance on this. We were very hard in negotiations with Brian and Bruno, needing to spread it out over 4 years. I think United might actually want to do that again, obviously, to keep the cost down, as we know, but Leipzig might not want to do that. Maybe that's what's holding this up. United putting this bid forward, yes, it's great, and the actual value is there in what Leipzig want, but not in the structure of it. It's all of that talk again, which is a bit worrying for a lot of Manchester United fans, I know, because this is what held up the Brian and Bruno deal, and Manchester United playing hardball really dragged that deal out. We haven't got time in this deal to do that, with us only having, around about 4 weeks left of the transfer window right now. I think it's going to be, hopefully, all of that being negotiated behind the scene, and then bang, in comes the bid, and away we go. I think that's what we're hoping for right now on this one. But yeah, Romano pretty much just telling us everything we already know on that side of things there regarding the Sesko situation. We have to wait. We have to wait for him to make a decision, and it's an awkward one. It is, because we want to know now. we want this done so we can get into preparation for the season. I'm sure United are the same way with that as well. Kicker last night said that Manchester United have made their bid. That has been played down. We were talking about that on the watch along last night, and I think that obviously United in a position where they just want Benjamin Sesko to come out and say something, and then I think they're all in. Like we said, in all of the information yesterday, there hasn't been much more of an update from it, apart from that Newcastle are really pushing on this to get a deal done. And you could maybe look into them rumours that Newcastle are looking at other strikers again and sounding out different players. That, I think, is what we look at more than anything in this, is to give you a sign as to something that might be going on behind the scenes with it. But again, I think it is going to be... I don't think we have to wait long anyway. I don't think we're going to have to wait much longer for this to actually come about, because we know we're into the last months now, the last month of the window now, and any sort of deal like this, I think we're just waiting it out now to see what Benjamin Sesko says, and I think the decision has to come soon. I got audio. You are good. Thank you for that, Ross. Sorry about the sound at the start of the video. I will figure that out. I did realise what had actually gone wrong, and it took a little bit of time to get going, but we're back as normal now. Adam, are we any closer to signing Frankie de Jong? This window is tiresome. I can't wait to get back to Old Trafford and concentrate on football. The transfer window does tire you out, doesn't it? It is draining on everybody and every fan, because you just want to know. You want information. You want to know what's happening. You want to know how Manchester United are going into the season at the moment. Yesterday's performance, I mean, a lot of people have said it, and we'll get into some of them performances from yesterday's game in a moment. But let's just get into some of the chat and what's actually going on and what's being said. Thanks for the super chats, Roz and Block as well there already. Let's just see. We've got need a striker in Sesko, need an 8 in Baleba, need a 6 in Wharton, a goalkeeper in Donna, a right wing back, and maybe a left centre back. No, we don't, in my opinion. We don't need left centre back, because that will be Yoro. I think we'll have. I think we've got plenty of cover at centre back. Right wing back, we've got Ahmad. We're not going to go out and buy another wing back this summer, because there are other priorities, which are the ones that you laid out in your first three there. I think we're looking at one midfielder coming in, because we're not going to be able to get anyone else. We're looking at a goalkeeper, and we're looking at the striker. So you got to decide what's more important, the 8 or the 6. Last night, obviously, United had many issues in midfield. Again, the Mainu and Agate experiment that looked good against West Ham failed against Everton, and they had a field day. Absolutely terrorising Man United's midfield last night. Maybe that is where United go. We are going to talk about the game in just a moment as well. Don't forget, tonight we have our call-in on Big Up as well. So if you want to have your say and talk to me about what is happening on the pitch at with Manchester United and all the transfer stuff, we're going to talk about the game and everything that's happened throughout today and over the weekend. Please get on to Big Up with us tonight. So more information on that in the evening show at 6 o'clock later on, everyone. But plenty to talk about. Just on the striker side of things, I think Manchester United, going off another report that's come out that I've been reading this morning, they have been and are moving away completely from Ollie Watkins because of Aston Villa's stance. Everything seems to be on this Benjamin Sesko deal for Manchester United now. Everything looks like it's moving towards getting Sesko or nothing in terms of the bigger striker. Obviously, there are other strikers out there that we could get, but they're not of the name and the stature of what these two are. These are the two big guns. And United apparently are not going to get into a bidding war. They're not going to spend 60 million, which is what Villa are holding out for. And like we said, them reports that came out last night, 60 million is what Newcastle have also been told when it comes to Ollie Watkins. So I don't know what United do if they don't get Sesko, which is why I feel still confident that Benjamin Sesko will come in to Manchester United. I don't think we're going to spend that much time doing everything that we've done right now in preparation for this bid to go in, to not go all out and get Benjamin Sesko. I think that's where United are at right now, and I think we will end up getting him. All of the signs lead to Manchester United for me and not Newcastle, but he is taking his time. The Newcastle side yesterday, remember when we said that it's moving to a point where the longer it goes on, they feel like he's waiting for Manchester United, because Newcastle are the only ones officially in at the moment. All we're hearing is all of the journalists talking about United waiting and being in, and that's fine, and we know that they're definitely there. But officially, Benjamin Sesko could have easily said yes to Newcastle. I want to go to you, now get the right deal. Like, they have shown already that they're willing to pay a certain amount of money. Why has Benjamin Sesko not come out and said, I want Newcastle? Because they're the ones who have put money on the table. Something is going on behind the scenes with it that we'll find out about later on. But look, let's get into that. Keep your comments coming in on Benjamin Sesko and what you think might happen today, possibly. How we're going to get the answer. Who would you go for if the Sesko deal doesn't happen? If you know that Ollie Watkins is too expensive, what striker do you go for then? Do you go for a striker, or do you go for the midfielder? The midfielder looks like it is going to be a key position. Bruno Fernandes last night saying that Manchester United still needed 2 or 3 more players to come in to bring that quality level up. It is a worrying sign that your captain is coming out, like I said at the start of the show, and saying these things. It is very, very strange that we are in a position where Bruno is talking about the rest of the team when we've got 2 weeks to go before the window and we're not good enough. Last night showed. Bruno's performance last night himself was not good. He scored the goals. He scored the goal. He got the assist. He was involved in both goals heavily, as you'd expect Bruno to be. But I don't think Manchester United, and I said this in my match reaction last night on the video, I said he needs to figure out Bruno's position. I don't think Bruno can keep on chopping and changing around. He was all over the pitch again. And I like the rotation in the front three, but that's because Bruno was in the front three. And then Ahmad went forward in the second half, and then Bruno got lost. Bruno got lost in that midfield, and that was the concerning side for me. And again, I'm not too keen on Bruno being at 8 if he's going to be pushing forward into the 10 constantly and leaving that space behind, because Manuel Ugarte cannot do this job on his own. I don't think he's got the qualities. And like I said, I'm not digging Bruno out here. I think his performance showed last night that there is good and bad in his game. And in his position, that bad is going to make us look worse. Like, he can't get away with making mistakes in Bruno's position in this system, I don't think. I would prefer him to be up at 10, I think, at this point. But then again, we've just brought in Cunha and Mbeumo. It makes it all strange how Manchester United went hell-bent on the number 10s, knowing that Bruno's there, Xerxes there, Mount's there. It was strange, and we didn't buy a midfielder. Yes, cover, yes, depth, but Manchester United, I feel, need to go out and get a central midfielder. Someone who is robust, someone who is like what the Athletic have been talking about, what other journalists have been talking about. The athletic side, athletic type of player, strong, physical, and can control the ball, has got that presence about him. Someone who can run the game for Manchester United. Like Bruno does it in a way, but he does it in his Bruno way, where sometimes it's a bit scattergun and he leaves gaps in behind. As influential as he is, I still think we need someone better next to him if you are going to play him there. And that, I think, you need a midfielder no matter what. If you want to play Bruno in at number 8, you need a midfielder. If you're not going to play Bruno in at number 8, you need a midfielder. No matter what we do or how we twist this team around, we need a midfielder. It's clear as day. Everton were a lot fitter last night than what a lot of the teams were at the start of this tournament, and Manchester United took advantage of that early on in the tournament. I'm not being negative because the tour overall has been very good for United. We've seen a lot more positives than we have negatives. But last night was the weaknesses again in Manchester United's game, because that was a patched up, weak Everton side that should have caused United no problems at all. But they carved open through our midfield several times. Ugarte on his own in there with Mainu, I don't think he's going to work this season at all for Manchester United. I don't think we've got the speed or the strength or the quality in Ugarte to actually do it. And we got found out last night. Ugarte cost us the first goal. like Ruben said, we were sleeping. Little things that we need to pick up on are big, I think, for United. And there's only so much coaching you can do with what quality you've got, is what I say. And I think Manchester United, with a better quality midfielder, I don't think have to worry about them other minor little details. Of course, they're still there, but I just think that United I think the rest of the team would have more confidence. It looks like, to me, Bruno talking and the way that Bruno played is that he doesn't have confidence in that midfield. You get what I mean by that? He's all over trying to do everyone's jobs and getting in the way some of the time, working some of the time. I think he's showing there, and the way he's talking also, that he actively wants to do more to try and cover out for the lack of what's there in midfield. I'm trying to explain this the best way I can. I think he knows we need midfielders in this side. I do. I think that's what he's alluding to. I don't think that Manchester United have anyone in their squad that's going to change anything. I think that's the point I'm trying to make out of this. And I think that's what Bruno's talking like there. And I think it's key that United find that midfielder. It's also key that we find the goalkeeper as well. Bayende just does not fill you with confidence. I'm not blaming him for any of the goals in particular. I think if that one that hit the post for Everton goes in, that's Bayende's fault. You cannot be palming a ball out to the attacker from that far out. The ball wasn't even hit that hard. It was a decent free kick from James Garner, but he palmed it right into the Everton playoff. That was poor goalkeeping, and that's something that Onana has been doing season after season after season. And I do believe that that goalkeeper situation is going to cause Manchester United problems, no end. Because, look, you can play well throughout a game and defend well, but if the keeper makes one mistake, the confidence drops, and then the game changes. As soon as Everton scored the goal yesterday, Manchester United were a bit all over the place. It took us ages to settle, and then even when we did settle and get the second goal, we still then conceded again, just through being too gun-ho at times. We just didn't control the game the way we should have, I don't think, last night. And I think it really showed. It really showed that Manchester United are lacking in one area in particular. I remember seeing Henry Winter's report. United a lot more positive, brilliant going forward, great interchange, a lot more to look forward to, and a lot sharper. But midfield is desperately in need of reinforcements. Every journalist said exactly the same thing. Midfield is absolutely dying at Manchester United, and this system might fail. A lot of people on the watch along last night were having a go at Ruben Amorim. The system is crap. The system's going to fail. One trick pony. All of this was coming out again last night. I've seen it from the fans. It's not easy to read. It's not easy to watch again, but sometimes when you watch a game like that, you can't really defend it. You knew the priorities. You knew where this system needed improving. You've got a little bit of time. Let's get this midfielder in. Desperately need this midfielder in at this window alongside the striker, because, again, we don't want to be wasting, I think, Cunha. As good as he is, and he did all right last night, I still want a striker. I want Cunha to be working in his areas that work well for him. And Sesko, I think, is big now for Manchester United. He's massive. We cannot lose out on Sesko, I don't think, now. Said all along, midfield is the screen for defence and the creation engine for the attack. Until that is fixed, we won't progress much at all, sadly. I get another thanks for the super chat, and I get that, I do. I'm just reading through some of the comments now. It's pretty much all the same. Our passing by all players was lax. Mbeumo looks really good. Really good, though. Really good. The new players, Mbeumo and Cunha, looking sharp. Looking very exciting. It's the players that we know about. It's the players that we all know we've got a problem with. I think that are going to be the problem for Manchester United. And it's going to take the transfer window to fix that. I don't think you can change or make these players better. I talked about this in the summer with Kobbie Mainoo. And Manchester United looking to change Kobbie Mainoo's game. I don't think you can do that. He is what he is. He isn't going to get quicker at this age now. Kobbie's not going to give you any more than what he's already given you. He's a great player. But in that midfield, if you're going to be playing the way that you're playing, he isn't the man. He really isn't. Casemiro takes ages to start his season. You're going to need someone in for the first couple of months of the season while Casemiro finds his feet if he's going to play at all. in this team because we haven't got the games like we did last season, and not having that many games, you're probably looking at one team here pretty much seeing out the opening couple of months of the season because no fixture pile-ups at all for Manchester United to deal with until you start getting into the last knockings of this calendar year when like December kicks in. You might still be in the League Cup, the Premier League fixtures start to pile up. I just hope that Ruben doesn't tinker with it too much. He should know a team that's going to see him through, the basis of a starting 11 that's going to see him through for the majority of the first half of this season, I feel. And if it's going to be Agate playing week in, week out, you can't have Kobbie Mainoo next to him. I think that was proven last night with a fitter and more at it Everton side. You do need to get somebody who knows that role inside and out, whether it's the 8 or the 6. At the moment, you can flip a coin. I think they're looking at Bruno as the 8, so Manuel Agate is going to be replaced. It's going to be a 6, I think, that comes in, if anything, rather than an 8, because the way that Mbeumo and Cunha is shaping up, which looks good, you bring in the striker, that means that you've got 2 places there for 10s. Bruno's not going to fit in. If you're spending this amount of money on 10s, then Bruno's going to be in at 8. And if Bruno's going to do what Bruno does, you need an outstanding player in at number 6 to work with him. Otherwise, we're going to get what we got last night. Walkthrough. And that, I think, is then going to expose our biggest weakness, which is the goalkeeping at United. Because as good as I am with the defence, and I'm loving Yoro at the moment, I like De Ligt, I love Heaven as well, I like Mazraoui, he's to come back in yet. So obviously you got Leach to come back in yet. There's lots and lots of positives to come for Manchester United with players coming back into this side. Let's not forget about the players that we're missing. Like Xerxes can play a role, Mazraoui and Leach are definitely going to play a role. There's nobody else to bring in midfield though. Collier just isn't getting the game time. He's not used Sekou Kone once. I think that tells me 2 more players there that are going to go out on loan. I think we bring in a midfielder and it's going to be between Bruno, Casemiro, Agate, Mainoo and 1 more. I fear for Kobbie Mainoo. I don't know how he gets into this side. Keep an eye on that. Because when the games start and Kobbie doesn't feature for the first 3 games, which I don't think he will, I don't think he's going to start. If United buy a midfielder, definitely not. He might sneak in if United haven't bought a midfielder before at the start of the season. But I think Kobbie's one to watch for being unsettled because I don't see him getting the game time that I think he wants in this Man United side. That's my big concern because there's a talent in Kobbie, but it's further forward and he's just not going to play. He's behind everyone that's there already. You've got to make Kobbie work in at 8. He hasn't got the legs for an 8. I'm concerned for him more than anybody else because Agate's Agate. He will be used sparingly in at number 6 where we need. Mainoo is being seen as this next coming of Manchester United young academy players, like the bright future for England and Manchester United. There's a lot more expected on Kobbie Mainoo and there's a lot more to come. I don't know if it's going to be at United. I don't want to sound negative at all on that. I just fear, with what I watched last night and what Manchester United might do in the window, where Kobbie fits in. And that was something that we all brought up. And it wasn't just me, it was the chat as well. I remember when we did a show on Bruno Fernandes saying no to Al Hilal, this spells the end for Kobbie Mainoo. I remember the comments coming in. Bruno's going to be at 8. There's no room for him at 10 anymore. With the signings we've made, we're not going to spend this money and chase these players down like we did if we are not going to play them. Bruno has to fit into the midfield somewhere else. That, for me, spells disaster for Kobbie because I think we're going to go out and get a midfielder. I don't know where he fits. At the moment, I hate to say this, I would rather have Kobbie Mainoo just sitting because I don't think he's got the legs to play 8. I would rather have Kobbie Mainoo sitting at 6, and that's not his role. This is where England and Southgate tried to fit him in. He's got qualities that could actually work for United. He's good on the ball, he's good passing, he's good at anticipation, but you're taking something away from him. He's like a luxury that we don't need at the moment, Kobbie Mainoo. We've got too many players in the same area in our team. Too many players fighting for the same position. It's going to be really interesting what happens with him more than anybody else. I do fear for Cobster at the moment and where he actually fits into this side. And again, I'll come to the chat now on this. Greg, who's just renewed his membership, welcome to the 12-month gold membership club, my friend. I'll take those first 3 games after last season all day. Green shoots, and much love. All can't wait for the season. Thanks for that, Greg, mate. Appreciate that renewal as well there. Look at it, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. I really don't. Cunha and Mbeumo, wow, brilliant signings already. Ruben Amorim talking about Brian Mbeumo there as well last night, and this is what he actually said. He and Mbeumo played well. Of course, he needs to improve on a lot of things. You can see that's the physicality of Brian is not perfect, but that's normal. His connection with the players, his runs, he's going to be important for us. You can see there he's still got to fine-tune his game. He played 45 minutes last night. He'll probably get more against Fiorentina. Brian Mbeumo will be on point for the start of the season, no doubt. 1 more game, 2 more weeks of training for Mbeumo. I've not got no issue at all with him. I've got no issue with Cunha. We get the striker in. I think that takes care of itself in terms of Benjamin Sesko. Your front three is sorted then. You've then got to concentrate on everything that I've just been talking about there and what the comments are talking about now, which is fixing that bleeding midfield. All right, let's get into the chat. Let's get some comments in from everybody. Bruno's position on the pitch and his captaincy surely is in question. Well, that's up to Ruben. Tom, that is up to Ruben now. Compost Smith says, if he can't play 8, he's not going to cut it in any of our midfield roles. It's clear all required mobility to cover up this nonsense system. Again, people calling out Ruben and blaming him rather than Kobbie Mainoo, seeing Compost Smith there. Although I do get what you're saying. If we're going to persist with this system, it's not a nonsense system, it has worked before, then Kobbie, I just don't think fits. We cannot play Bruno at 8, and that decision will cost Amorim his job. If we don't play Bruno at 8, then Bruno doesn't play. Is there ever going to be a point that happens for United? Because all this will bring in, and I guarantee what this will happen. I've not even looked into comments on this, but I already know that fans and United fans are thinking this, and these are coming from Bruno dislikers. Call them haters if you want. I told you we should have cashed in on Bruno Fernandes. Look, now he's causing a problem because we could have used that money to buy a proper number 8. Why are we bringing in 10s and not selling Bruno Fernandes? It's like we're shoehorning players into positions again. That's the conversation that's going to be going on right now with Manchester United fans. I guarantee it. That's what a lot of fans are saying right now. We should have sold him. We should have sold him. Look, he didn't want to go. We've got what we've got. We're trying to make something work with the players that we've got. If someone else comes in, I think it will be Kobbie and Ugarte that miss out. It's somebody to complement Bruno is what we're looking for. I'm telling you now, if you don't like it, I'm sorry, it's tough. And that's just not my opinion. You know it's real. You know Bruno's going to play. So you need a midfielder in that's going to complement Bruno Fernandes. He's our captain. He's our leader. He is the man that creates the most for Manchester United. He is going to play nearly every single game this season. You have to accept it and find a play that works with him. Forget about fixing Kobbie. Forget about hoping that Ugarte will come around. There's going to be moments in the season where we will use Ugarte, where we will use Kobbie Mainoo, and that's fine. But as a starting 11, I don't think Kobbie or Ugarte are the answer for Manchester United right now. I don't. And I was saying this last season. Ugarte needed to really hit the ground running in pre-season. Look sharp in games, but then the reminder was there last night. Kobbie, I honestly don't know where he fits. It's sad to talk about in that way because he's such a talent, but he should be in at number 10. But I don't think he's the type of 10 that Ruben likes. And that's the decisions that are going to come down on Ruben Amorim. And that's where he will be judged, I think. We should be looking at Lamine Camara as from AS Monaco instead of Baleba. Similar skill, way cheaper. Sesko won't make any difference up front. If Mbeumo and Cunha don't play with him, he will need service. Well, they're going to play with him, I think, is the point we're making there. Bruno is crap at 8. Yeah, I said it. He's a 10. End of, says Ant with a super chat. Oculus says, I think that we are overcooking the rest. We're overcooking the result yesterday. The issue was the players did not apply themselves yesterday and were complacent with outpassing and decisions. Look, the end of the day, we've seen that game before. That's the point. You can overcook it. It wasn't the end of the world. it wasn't the end of the world at all for Manchester United yesterday. But we've seen that game before. That's the point I think most Man United fans are trying to make. That was as similar as it gets to what happened last season. That, for me, is why we're talking about the midfield right now and why we're talking Bruno, Mainu, Agate, because we get run through. Every single time we just get bowled over in that midfield, and it's concerning. There is a reason why a midfielder is on Man United's transfer list. There is. I'm just saying. I'm just checking through the other news just to make sure that there is nothing else that has come out. We are waiting on the Benjamin Sesko situation, and we're waiting to see if we do get a decision. Looks like there's pictures of the players. They're all on the way back home now. Nothing at all yet. This is going to be a big day. Regarding Garnacho and that situation as well. If you wasn't around yesterday, we brought you the news that Chelsea have now started talking personal terms with Garnacho. They are in touch with representatives of Garnacho. He has prioritised Chelsea. He only wants Chelsea at the moment. And we are going to see some action between Manchester United and Chelsea soon, says Romano, as everything is moving forward. Personal terms are not a problem, Romano said, and Chelsea are fully invested and want and are convinced by Alejandro Garnacho. Let's see the money then, Chelsea. Let's go for it. This, I think, is one that's going to develop through this week also now for Manchester United. I don't think it's key to what's happening with Sesko, like we said before. But still, I think that one now will hopefully take care of itself. Update quickly on Antony also. Manchester United winger Antony is not interested in a move to Saudi Arabia and wants to join Real Betis once again. That's come from Sport in Spain. It does look like Antony has officially knocked back any other offer from any club and he's holding out on Real Betis. That one is probably going to be more of a problem than Garnacho, to be honest, because Betis just don't have the money. They don't. I don't know how United work a deal out with Betis on this one. They're going to have to be extremely creative. I don't know. At the moment is the honest answer. I don't think anybody does for Antony. And that situation is he's only going to get more and more complicated. And it would be nice if United could get their business done with the players coming in so we can concentrate on getting the max out of the other players that we know we need to shift on. But it's not looking straightforward at all. But then again, as United fans, what do we know? When is there ever a straightforward transfer window for Manchester United? It's just never going to happen, is it? We have only got 28 days or so to survive now. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the final knockings of this transfer window when we can all relax again. And like Block said earlier on in the Super Chats, we can actually concentrate on playing football again and not having to worry about who comes in, who's going to sign, who's not going to sign. And again, the Benjamin Sesko one, we just don't want it to be a saga. I just don't want to be talking about Benjamin Sesko every single day. Goalkeeper, by the way, the story on Donnarumma yesterday came out. I'm still not believing in that one. If you, again, wasn't with us yesterday, Donnarumma has apparently come out and said that he is interested in the move to Manchester United based off the stature of the football club. Not having it yet. So let's concentrate on getting Sesko done this week, and then we'll see if anything crazy happens. But still, I don't think so. Ruben, by the way, is talking about Andre Onana starting the season and Andre Onana coming back as a big thing for Manchester United. That's a worrying sign again. For our Manchester United putting all of their resources into midfield and attack, some people would say that that's the right thing to do anyway. Let's see what you say in the chat. 13 days till Arsenal, says Christian. Ginge says, look at the midfield of all the big clubs, absolutely light years ahead of ours. So let's take a couple of signings, though, to fix Manchester United. I think we're going in the right direction with the intensity and the way that the players are and understanding. I just think that, the comment that was made before from Oculus about Manchester United being off it last night, there was a few poor performances last night from United. Certain decision-making moments really cost us. And that's what Ruben was ruining in his press conference and his interviews afterwards. He was highlighting where United really did fall down in the game last night. And yeah, they're not always going to play that bad. Let's remember that also. Someone come back at me and say, Adam, did you watch last season? I know. It was bad then as well. But still, you know where I'm going with it. Let's get some more comments in on this. Ruben will get all of the blame once the window closes, though. Well, the system's going to come into play because there's nothing else to moan about. So get them players in, and then we can start to really criticise Ruben Amorim. If he doesn't get the midfielder in and doesn't get the striker and the goalkeeper, then there's always the excuse to say that Ineos and Manchester United let Ruben down. Really, if he gets them players in, there's no excuse for Ruben. He's got all the preparation time he wants. He's got all the players that he wants. He's got rid of the players that he wants. Let's see what we've got. And I think that is going to start mounting. I can feel it bubbling already. We're not even kicked off the season yet, and I can already feel the fan base wanting more from the system, wanting more from the formation and Ruben Amorim himself. I think that's what's going to go into overdrive when we really kickstart everything. By the way, thank you for all the likes, everyone. Pop a like on the video if you haven't already. We're keeping you up to date with all of the news and everything that's going on around Manchester United. We've got you covered every single day, no matter where we are. Please pop a like on the video if you're enjoying all of the update shows. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the march to the next 1,000. We hit 94k yesterday, already well on the way to 95. Thank you again if you have subscribed and all of your support throughout the shows. Get your comments in, please. I'm talking through your comments now through the last part of the show. It's your chance, everybody. Scott says, at times they looked like to tweakers out there running around and passing the damn ball all over the place. At time it looked pretty, and at times it needed to slow the pace. Yeah, controlling the game. They were too frenetic, I thought, last night. Ramos says, maybe because Ruben said that he's happy with the current squad. Ruben says them things because he needs to say them things, I feel. I think the Bruno Fernandes interview and what we talked about at the top of the show is more important. We need to do more. Bruno is talking about what suits his game clearly there. That's the player talking there from Bruno Fernandes that knows that he's playing next season. That he knows he hasn't got the players with him, I feel, to make this work. I think he understands what Ruben wants, and I think he believes that we do need more players in. I'm convinced. Why did Rasmus Højlund not play yesterday? That was another sign for me. Rasmus not playing was big in that game. We are one game left from starting the season. If Rasmus doesn't start again against Fiorentina, then the writing is clearly on the wall for him. The news about Rasmus being available for 30 million, I think, is concerning for him. But I think United's reality check, I think more than anything, I think that's what we're talking about there. And I could see Rasmus going this summer. I don't know if things are going to kick into action even more now that United are back in Manchester. But we will see how this week develops. I'd expect some news in the outgoings and the incomings this week alone before we play Fiorentina at weekend. Something has to happen this week, definitely with Benjamin Sesko. Just to keep you updated on Benjamin Sesko, again, the reports from Germany last night, a few minor sources came out and said that Manchester United are prepared to match Newcastle's offer that's on the table. Some were saying that United have made their first bid. That's been played down. That's not in yet. From creditable German sources have said that there's no bid in. And Romano came out and said that Manchester United and Newcastle are just waiting for Benjamin Sesko. It doesn't matter who's bid what structure is what with any of the clubs. There is nothing that any club can do in moving this deal forward or convincing Leipzig to move until Benjamin Sesko says where he wants to go. All that matters is his decision. That's what Romano has said in his piece last night. I'm sure there will be another Fabrizio Romano update as we go through today anyway on that one. In terms of Ollie Watkins as well, like I said earlier on, United won't be going back in for him if we don't get Benjamin Sesko. Too expensive is the words. By the way, everybody, please do check out the kits. Check out if you want your kits. The link will be in the description. Some of the mods will drop it into the live chat as well. Anyone who wants new training kits or anything like that, it is in the description there under OK Jerseys. That's where I got mine from, for anybody asking. Great deals on there for away kits, retro kits, training kits for every single club. International stuff as well. Brilliant. And really good quality also. So check them out as well on there. £30 million is not enough. They are having us on. Well, look, needs must at the end of the day. Rasmus was showing his petulance again last night. Did you see that when he kicked out at the goalpost? Again, screaming and shouting and booting the goalpost. There is real... I don't like to see that in a player. Petulance. Patrick Dorgu should be taking that shot on. That's what he should have done. And he made a good... And Pickford made a good save from Dorgu there. No one is going to square that ball if you're running through on goal. You're taking the shot on. And Dorgu did right in taking that shot on for me. And Rasmus Højlund's reaction to it, I just think, again, is a reason why Manchester United are probably wanting to get rid of him. Jumping up and down and screaming and booting, like full pelt booting the post. What if he injured himself doing that? And then he transfers off, and then we've got no striker at all if we don't get Benjamin Sesko. Honestly, he's young and he's inexperienced, and I think he's got a lot to learn. But things like that are probably why Manchester United are also looking at trying to move Rasmus on. He's got to understand it's not helping anybody by having a hissy fit because the ball's not been squared to you. I think he needs to do more, to be honest. He's shown signs this summer for me, Rasmus, that have improved a bit. But again, yesterday, and not just Rasmus Højlund, and I don't want to make this sound like I'm having a go at him here. I just think that there's a sign there in Ruben not playing him. There's signs on the pitch when he comes on, he's frustrated that he's not getting the ball. He needs to do more. He needs to do a lot more for me. He's just not got what we need, I don't think, Rasmus Højlund. And this is why this week is massive for Benjamin Sesko. I think is going to be the talk of the week. Does Rasmus leave alongside Garnacho and Anthony and Sancho? I think he actually could. From all of the noises, there is something happening with Rasmus Højlund, I think, in this window. I don't think he'll be a Man United player come the end of the transfer window. That's my honest opinion. Anyway, I just think that there is something there that isn't going to work for Manchester United with Rasmus. Something is missing. Anyway, that wraps up all of the news, everyone. It was pretty much after the show last night. Loads of content. Thank you, everybody who has watched all of the content and been involved on match day. We move forward now. Full concentration for the whole week is on transfers. And we have got you absolutely covered here. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to be completely up to date with everything going on at the club. I will keep you informed on everything. When we're live or when we're doing a video, it means something has happened. We've got you covered with the news. Pop a like on this video as well, everybody. I will see you all later on with any updates coming out. I will be glued to all the news for you and bring it to you as it happens, as always. Thanks, everybody. Mods, great job again in the chats. Cheers, everybody. Super chats, brilliant again. And yeah, new members and renewed members, thank you very much. I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic morning. And yeah, let's see what the day brings. Expecting things